Hello, this is Carson Cook, your CSO Pro, and welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss any of our future uploads. Enjoy the video. All right, guys, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome back to the CSO Pro. Again, my name is Carson Cook, and today we're going to talk about another challenge. This is going to be a really fun thing to do, guys. These are three of the challenges that actually might be coming up in a series of training that I'm going to be doing that I'll be mentioning out to everybody on this channel too. Not only that, but along with some of the stuff that I actually have in my book. And then there'll be a link to the video below for the Day of Conversation or the Day of Conversation challenge, which is a video. This is going to be the second video in this series, which is going to be on the Day of Positive challenge. Okay, the Day of Positive challenge. Now, what we're going to talk about, guys, is in the first video, we talked about being able to break ice with people and to not really be constrained about yourself as a sales professional, being constrained or having an issue with what people think about you or your actions, right? Now, that doesn't mean go crazy, but what that means is that someone that you don't know, okay, it's really odd, okay? And part of sales, okay, is literally being uncomfortable. And that's the cool part, okay? A great sales professional has the ability to comfortably be uncomfortable. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that when they're in uncomfortable situations, that's fine. That's home for them. That's home for a great sales professional because that person can build up rapport like crazy, okay? So it's super important. So today we're gonna talk about the Day of Positive challenge. Now, all about sales too, guys, you want to remain optimistic. Now, having the plan like in the other video that we have where it's plan A, plan B, and plan C, you need to find alternate solutions. You need to be creative, think outside the box, and think on your feet as a solid top performer in sales. You have to think that same way as a mentalist, as a therapist. You have to think of creative solutions around any concerns that your client might have so they don't scare you as a sales professional. Oh, that objection scared me. Shit, I left. I didn't want to, they weren't going to buy it. You just talked yourself out of a deal. Okay, there's always a solution to a problem. Okay, so with that being said, guys, the Day of Positive challenge. Okay, we're gonna talk about three different rules or the guidelines for this. So the Day of Positive challenge, the first one is that you're gonna go out, okay, you're gonna pick a day, whether you're working or whether you're not working, after work or whatever, and you're gonna start 10 positive conversations with strangers, like in a coffee shop, okay? And one of the best ways, just like in the other video, I said, why don't you mention that to the stranger that you come up and you meet and you say, hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. This is not really a social experiment, but it's a personal development project that I'm working on for my communication, and it's called the Day of Positive challenge. Okay, so I've used this whole day to keep everything positive, but what I have to do is I have to start 10 conversations with complete strangers and keep the whole thing positive. So tell me a little bit about yourself, okay, while they're having coffee, and do you mind if I join you? Okay, no problem. Now, if the person starts off the conversation negatively, okay, you can tell that they're, I wouldn't say they're a realist, but they're a pessimist, right, or not an optimist, right? And if you're a pessimist or a realist, fine. But when you're dealing with sales, you need to become optimistic about every situation and have a good outlook. Look at the positive parts. Look at the strengths of your product. Look at the positive attributes of it. And you can address the negatives later if they come up, but they're not a big deal because the positives totally outweigh the negatives, okay? So it needs to be with 10 conversations, a total of 10 conversations. The next part is that they need to be 100% strangers. These people need to be people that you're not comfortable with. You need to be comfortably uncomfortable, right? And you need to get used to that. So if we still get the butterflies when we sell, okay, which is great, and everybody does, it's a natural thing to not embark in someone's personal bubble or their personal space. But you need to understand, guys, you need to be able to go into someone's personal bubble and into their personal space as a sales professional and be able to turn that into a positive interaction. Period. End of story, okay? Because the better you're prepared for hostile clients or hostile clients or potential clients or board members or whoever you're selling to, then everything else is going to seem very easy to you, okay? An easy client, like a laydown, okay? If they're hard and you've prepared yourself on being a badass with hard clients, everything else falls into place. So you need to train on that. You need to train on being uncomfortably comfortable with not saying that you should be comfortable with making yourself look like a jackass, but it's okay if you do. Who cares, okay? First off, you need to think that these are also strangers, people you've never met before in your life. So any judgment they pass to you, who cares? I mean, who gives a shit, right? Okay, you might not ever meet them again, and you actually might risk that being uncomfortable and the fact that you might actually have some of these strangers still be your friend and still communicate with you, maybe be a part of your everyday life. Who knows? Who cares, right? That's awesome. That's the cool part about sales. Then the very last thing that we need to focus on, guys, for this challenge is we need to start with something positive and you need to end with something positive. And if you catch yourself, okay, in a negative comment, so a negative attribute or negative statement or something comes from that other person, you need to turn that back around and make it positive, okay? The whole challenge is to have these 10 conversations be about being positive. Now, the first challenge was the day of conversation challenge, which is just getting you out the door, getting you in front of strangers anyway, helping you get comfortable. Now we're gonna try and take that same situation, we're gonna angle it towards something productive, which is going to be positive. So if you meet someone that's negative, your challenge is to turn them into a positive conversation, to make their day, to buy them their coffee, to start a conversation about a story. Okay, you might enlighten them. Okay, and that's the cool part about this, because then what you're going to be able to do is attribute this to sales. You're going to be able to walk into a really hostile client situation, and first off, you're going to not feel nervous because you did the day of conversation challenge. You're okay with talking to complete strangers about whatever, who cares? Then they're going to come back at you with something negative, and you're going to be able to turn it right back around and have it become positive. Even the worst pessimistic people every day still find at least one positive thing in their life when they go through their day, okay, guaranteed. And it's just up to them how they recognize that, as opposed to how they look at the world, right? Is the cup half empty, is it half full? For them, it's always half empty, okay? But at least you can say, shit, at least it's a cup of water. At least it's there. Let's say you're thirsty. There you go. At least there's water there. You can drink that water. That's a positive attribute. Let's turn that around. Okay, so the day of positive challenge is a really, really good way to really look at how you view certain situations as a sales professional. Are you a pessimist? Are you a realist? Or are you an optimist? Or are you a combination of all three? That's great. Okay, but when you're selling, you need to be able to be the wizard here, the genie, to turn these situations into something that's positive. Your clients, even the most badass clients, the hardest clients that you're gonna have, the most negative people you meet on the planet, if you can turn them into a positive situation, you'll be memorable. Okay, which means that when they come down to making their decision, they're going to make that decision with you because you're positive about it, okay? So think about the day of positive challenge, get out there, get in front of some strangers, start some positive conversations, and see where that leads you. And once you're comfortable with that, then you're basically comfortably uncomfortable, and you can sell a lot of stuff. All right, thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you soon.